Hey guys, this is the first time I'm doing something like this, so please bear with me. Please let me know if you have any suggestions. Today I'm going to talk about the four most handsome men in ancient China. The first person I'm going to talk about is Song Yu. Song Yu was born in 298 BC in Yancheng, Chu State during the Warring States period. Regarding Song Yu's handsomeness, there's an indirect description in Dan Tu-zi, Love of Beauty, Dan Tu-zi Hao Se Fu. This is one of the literature he has written as well, so some of the lines in this literature are something like this. The daughter of my neighbor will be too tall if she grows 1 inch, and too short if she is shorter by an inch. Her face would be too white if she puts on powder, and too red if she puts on roux. Her eyebrows are like green feathers, and her skin is as white as snow. Her waist is like a piece of silk, and her teeth are like pearls. Her charming smile can confuse Yancheng and bewitch Shoutai. Apparently, such a beauty has chased Song Yu for 3 years, but she didn't succeed. Song Yu was not just handsome, he also possessed exceptional talent in literature. His teacher was a famous scholar called Qu Yuan. Qu Yuan was a famous poet from Chu State, known for his patriotism and contributions to classical poetry. He was also known for the supposed origin of Dragon Boat Festival. Okay, let's get back to Song Yu. So Song Yu, as a student of Qu Yuan, of course he was inspired by him. His representative work, 9 Variations, 九变, can be compared to Qu Yuan's Li Sao in the history of Chinese literature, making them the 2 masterpieces of Chu Ci, the Songs of Chu. In literary history, the Song Yu also achieved several firsts. He was the first to describe the sorrow of autumn, 悲秋, and the first to write about women in literature. His classic descriptions of women and autumn had a big influence on the writers such as Chao Zi, Du Fu, and Su Shi. However, despite being both talented and attractive, Song Yu's official career was dim. Born into a poor family, he traveled to the capital of Chu in search of political pad, becoming a literary attendant to the king of Chu. It is said that he was once appreciated by the king, but in the end he left the court, returned to the countryside. In 223 BC, Chu state was conquered by Qin Shi Huang, and a year later, in 222 BC, Song Yu passed away at the age of 76. The second person I'm going to talk about is Pan An. His actual name is Pan Yue and his courtesy name is An Ren. He's commonly referred to as Pan An and basically is the combination of the 2 names. Pan An was born in 247 AD and he was a poet from Western Jin dynasty. Pan An was talented from a young age and was known as a prodigy in his hometown. There are no historical records regarding Pan An's height or appearance, but his beauty can't be disputed because he had numerous fans at the time. Whenever he went out for sightseeing, he was always followed by a number of girls. His fans, including both young and old, would give him fruits and flowers, so every time he goes out, he would bring back a carriage full of fruits. There's a Chinese saying called 貌若潘安, which literally means look like Pan An, and it is used to describe a handsome and elegant man. Pan An studied at the Luoyang Imperial College when he was young, and when he was 22 years old, he served under a high-ranking official called Jia Chong. But when he composed a poem praising the emperor for his dedication to farming, he got demoted to the position of magistrate in Haiyan County. When his mother was sick, he went back to his hometown to take care of her. At the time, he was associated with Jia Chong's grandson Jia Mi. In 295 AD, Pan An returned to the capital to serve under Jia Mi. Jia Mi was assassinated in a coup in 380. Later, King of Zhao, Sima Lun, succeeded in seizing the throne and declared himself emperor, and his trusted advisor Sun Shou became the prime minister. Sun Shou used to be an official under Pan An's father, and Pan An disliked Sun Shou due to his cunning nature, and had him flogged on numerous occasions. When Sun Shou first became the prime minister, Pan An asked him if he still remembers the past. Sun Shou replied, "It's deeply etched in my heart. How would I forget?" At the time, Pan An realized that he won't be able to escape. Pan An was accused of plotting a rebellion, and his and whole family were executed. Pan is also known for his deep affection and loyalty towards his wife Yang Rongji. He and his wife were engaged at the age of 12. When his wife passed away, he never remarried. His 3 poems dedicated to his wife were the first poems in China that mourn for the dead. The third person I'm going to talk about is Gao Qianggong. He's also known as Langling Wang, Prince of Langling. Gao Qianggong was born in 541 AD. His father was Gao Cheng, who was the elder brother of the first emperor of northern Qi. In 560 AD, Gao Qianggong was granted the title Prince of Langling and was promoted to become the governor of Bingzhou. When the Turks invaded Jingyan in 563 AD, Gao Qianggong led his troops to defeat them. According to a legend, he was so handsome that he had to wear a mask to intimidate the enemies. His famous battle is the rescue of Jingyong. It is now located in Luoyan in the northeast of Henan. In 564 AD, the northern Zhou launched an attack against Luoyan, so the emperor sent Gao Qianggong to reinforce the city. Gao Qianggong led 500 cavalrymen to break through the siege of northern Zhou. When he reached the gate of Jingyong, the defenders did not recognize him because he was wearing a mask. When he took off his helmet and the mask, the soldiers rejoiced and opened the gates to join the battle outside the city. So Gao Qianggong successfully relieved the siege at Jingyong, and ultimately the northern Zhou army abandoned their camp. In order to celebrate this victory, the soldiers composed the famous song and the dance called Song of the Prince of Langling in Battle, which is also known as Da Mian, the Great Mask. The song and the dance were long lost in China, but it was introduced to Japan during the Tang Dynasty, and it is known as Ranryou. It is still being performed in some ceremonies in Japan today. In the year 569, Emperor Gaozhen passed away, and the young Emperor Gao Wei formally took on the imperial authority. Gao Qianggong's reputation was too great, and the young emperor was afraid that Gao Qianggong might overthrow him. Gao Qianggong also sensed the emperor's suspicion, so he pretended to be sick and tried to keep a low profile. However, in 573 AD, the emperor sent the poisonous wine to Gao Qianggong. Gao Qianggong drank the wine and ended his life. 4 years later, northern Qi was destroyed by northern Zhou, and all the imperial families were executed. Wei Jie was born in 286 AD during the Western Jin dynasty. At the age of 5, he showed an extraordinary demeanor that set him apart from others. His grandfather Wei Guan, a general, once said that he was different from others, but it is a pity that he is too old to watch Wei Jie grown up. Wei Jie's uncle, General Wang Ji, was also handsome, but whenever he sees Wei Jie, he would sigh and say he would appear unattractive next to him. He would often tell others that going out with Wei Jie was like having a radiant gem by his side, shining brightly. As Wei Jie grew up, he developed a passion for discussing profound principles. But he was weak and frail from a young age, so his mother told him not to speak too much. On some special occasions, when friends and family asked him to say a few words, he would never fail to impress others. Wang Cheng, the governor of Jingzhou, rarely praised others, but whenever he heard Wei Jie's remarks, he was sighed in admiration. Wang Cheng, along with Wang Xuan and Wang Ji, were all famous figures, but it is said that they were not comparable to Wei Jie. That's why at the time, people often said that the 3 sons of the Wang family cannot compare to a son from Wei family. Later, the imperial court summoned Wei Jie to serve as an official several times, but he refused the appointment. After a long time, he eventually took on the role of grand tutor. In 310 AD, wars broke out in Central Plains, and Wei Jie planned to move to the south, so he took his mother to live in Jiangxia, currently in Hubei, Wuhan, and then he tried to move to Jiangye, modern-day Nanjing. When people heard that he arrived, a lot of people gathered to catch a glimpse of him. Due to his poor health and fatigue, he soon fell ill and passed away in 312 AD at the age of 27. Then a proverb appears due to this, which is called 看杀未戒, which means the looks killed 未戒 is used to describe someone who is being admired to death.